everybody, this is Tin Goose. Sorry it's been a while. I wanted to give you a quick update of how all the tanks are doing. Although I haven't been making videos about a month, I've actually been very busy with a lot of changes. So I want to give you the really quick update, and also before I do that, I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. Looking to hit a pretty big milestone of 500 subscribers, and for me, just kind of as a general hobbyist, pretty exciting. Never thought I'd get to a really super big channel, but definitely enjoy all the comments and questions that you guys ask. Enjoy giving my feedback on products in the question and answer section. So please leave any questions, comments at the bottom of this video. I'll be happy to get back to you. But for now, I want to start off with an update. Here's the 75-gallon Clear for Life acrylic planted tank. So you can see it is kind of way overgrown now. I just finished my water changes, but I need to get in there and cut a little more back. Probably next week or so, I'll get in here and kind of trim a lot of that wisteria back and compact jungle bound and whatnot. But kind of enjoying it right now. Moved a couple fish into here. You can hardly see them, but there's about 8 of these little female crebensis in here. So our crebensis pair bred, and we split the females, and actually most of them that came out were female. And I've kind of read about crebensis, and that when they breed at times you could actually get more of one sex than the other. So we actually had a lot more females to males. So moved them to here. They're actually doing really well. Not too aggressive. They're out active. You can see them. There's about 4 of them right there with the cherry barb. So pretty excited about this. The biggest change to this tank, you guys know I had a DIY CO2 setup. I did switch to the paintball CO2 setup. So one of our hobbies is actually playing paintball. So I had a paintball tank, and I bought this setup, which was pretty inexpensive, to do pressurized CO2, or at least an intro pressurized CO2. And you know, it works really well. You know, not a solenoid timer or anything else like that, but I really don't mind turning it on or off each day and night, just so I can validate how much CO2 is going into the tank. So I'll maybe do a more detailed review of that down the road. But so here's 75. You can see it's looking great, crystal clear. Can't see the other side anymore, too much plant growth, but let's see the update of that one. Across the room, let's see the fluval edge. Looking really great after water change. That dwarf hair grass is kind of everywhere. I was growing out some Christmas moss in here, which is kind of, once you have, you know, Java moss or Christmas moss, you can see it's kind of all up in the dwarf hair grass. So I'm going to pick some of that out, but looks great in the other tank, what I did grow out, and I'll show you that in a second. But I was hinting that on the last video I did of this black fluorite sand, which I like so much, I ended up rescaping the 40-gallon acrylic. So I want to jump up there and show you that in just a second, but I want to give you a look at this one. Just running red cherry shrimp, some Amano shrimp, got 4 pygmy quarries, an auto sinkless. I bought 2, one died within the first couple days. And still 2 celestial pearl danios from what I had about a year and a half ago. I bought about 4. 2 of them are still going after about a year and a half. So everyone's a little skittish right now, but people are doing just fine. I will switch to the 40. Okay, so here's the 40. As I mentioned about a month ago on the fluval edge update, this 40 really had a problem. If you go back to the setup video, I was worried about the Christmas moss I put in there. It seemed to really be crashing after I bleached it to kind of kill the snails. And it really crashed, it rotted. The whole tank was just a mess, and ultimately the fish we put in there, some we were able to quarantine and pull out, but we put 3 fish in there that did not make it. And just a whole lot of bad was happening. Could not get it stable after so much plant matter was kind of melting back and rotting. So, and I love this black fluorite sand, so I decided to just, let's start anew. So I pulled everything out, ripped the substrate out, put this black fluorite sand in there. I love it. All the hardscapes still the same. The plants, there's a handful of plants we did salvage, like some of this moneywort, but pulled some rep ends from 75, salvaged the Anubias, but that Christmas moss, that's the Christmas moss is growing out in our tank, and then everything else is kind of just starting to grow in. The Italian bell we were able to salvage, but melted back when we moved it. But it's growing in just fine. Everything is starting to come back, so I'm really excited to see how this turns out. In terms of fish, I mentioned on the 75, I have all those female crebensis. Well, here are the males. So from that brood of crebensis, there were at least 3 males, and so these are the 3 males that have been put into here. Also kind of have this Chinese algae eater, kind of like a marbled kind of cross between a regular algae eater and a golden algae eater. Pretty cool looking. When we saw him, we kind of had to get him. So he's been really active, doing a great job. And somewhere, let's see if we can find him, there's a bristlenose pleco who's kind of been in and out of here. So he was in here and we saved him in the quarantine, and then he is now back in here and doing really well. So really excited how his tank is looking. Yeah, but definitely have a few little issues, but very happy with this go around. Alright, so here is the 15, last but not least. This is, as you recall, my quarantine tank, and I know it doesn't look like many quarantine tanks that you've seen, but I figure if I want the quarantine fish, might as well do it my way with the awesome plant setup. Those dwarf lilies look awesome, one of my favorite plants in all my tanks. And just kind of has some other miscellaneous plants in here. A lot of this stuff came from the other tanks, hornwort, wisteria, a little bit of jungle val. And let's see, there are 3 little crebensis in here that had not sexed up yet by the time that we moved them, and they were all smaller, kind of the runts of the litter, so decided to let them grow out in here for a little bit, so they were getting picked on before. And then you can also see in the very back, one reason I love having a quarantine tank, you can kind of see her back there. There's my female pearl gourami. So best part on the quarantine tank is, there she is. You can easily move a fish, you have available space. Came home from work one day and she was ripped to heck. I don't know who did it in the 75, but I was able to get her out and quarantine her, medicate her, and kind of get her back to health. So she's staying in here for now. I'm going to have to figure out down the road what we're going to do with her, but I was kind of happy I had the ability to quarantine. So that's Around the World update. Thank you guys for subscribing. Ask any questions about any of the tanks. Happy to do some follow-up videos down the road. I wanted to say kind of pre-thank you for 500 subscribers. I know I'm not there yet, but also want to thank all you guys for your great comments and feedback you give me. Have a great week. Yeah, I know this doesn't look like many quarantine tanks that you've seen, but I do love this tank. Figure, you know what? If you're going to have a quarantine, get it.